Yes.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Kelly Kauffmann. I am a certified personal trainer, a 500 RYT yoga instructor, and a health coach. And I thank you for the opportunity to work out with you guys today. We are going to do a strength training with dumbbells workout. Optional things that you could have. We will do some things from a chair, so it's always great to have a chair, but I'll cue movements to where some could be standing or they could be done from the chair, and some are going to have to be done from a chair. Also, a big bath towel is not something you have to have, but it can be nice depending on your chair to set on the back of it, because a couple of the exercises we're leaning back and it just kind of creates some cushion and allows us to really open the chest. So that's why I added that as a last minute option. Not something you have to have, but if you have a folded up bath towel, it works nicely as a prop. And then a couple different size dumbbells or whatever you like to have. So I'm going to start, everybody. We're just going to do a warm up, and we're going to kind of do a little bit of interval going back and forth between muscle groups, and also doing some cardio in between, kind of similar to an interval training style. So I'm going to start standing. If standing is not a great option for you today, you could do seated. So whenever we're marching standing, you could also march in place seated, and you could move along with the arm movements as well. So I'm just going to start marching a little bit, heating up the body. I want to first bring our minds to the good posture. So think about your body being nice and strong from the center up and the center down. Begin to lift and open through the chest. You could add a little arm swing. You could be marching those legs. They could be low marches or high marches. If you need a little stability, you could always have a chair in front of you if you need that type of stability while you're marching. So take your time, continue moving while I'm talking. And we're just going to wake it up a little bit. So if you like a little bit of higher knees, if you have good balance today, or if you've got that chair in front of you, you could lift the knees a little higher, and then you could go back down low again. Always pressing the belly into the spine, getting a nice warm up, starting to heat the body a little bit. Now I'm going to create an option where I'm just widening those legs for a little bit of wide march. Tummy's nice and tight. Because I'm standing, I'm really just moving at my own pace. You could also have the chair behind you and like a walker in front of you if you needed a different prop or a different high back chair in front of you. So there's lots of options there. Only do what feels safe for you. You can always come back to this regular march for modifications. If you're seated, you're sitting nice and tall with the sitting bones rooted as you march. Beautiful. Hopefully beginning to feel the heart rate rise a little bit. Let's focus on the inhalation and the exhalation now. Just a nice big inhale for 3 or 4 counts. And exhale. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Nicely done. Now we're going to take a break with the legs about a hip's distance apart, toes straight from toe to heel. I'll step back a little softening to the knees, and we're just raising the arms and stretching. If you are seated in a chair, you can just be moving along with these arm movements, raising and stretching and sweeping the arms out and down like a morning time stretch. We're going to do that a few more times. Raise and stretch, belly firms as the arms lift, sweep it out and down, raise and stretch, firm the belly as you lengthen, sweep it out and down. You could have a chair in front of you as an additional prop, reaching, sweep it out and down. This next time, whether you're seated or standing, I want you to raise the arms, and I'm going to show it seated, and keep the arms raised with belly nice and firm. And I want you just to spread the fingers, fist and extend. Belly's pressing into spine. We're building a little shoulder heat. Now wrist circle, and then reverse the circle. Wrist circle, and then reverse the circle. We're still building a little heat. And then sweep those arms out and down. Now let's roll out the shoulders a little bit, creating a little movement through the shoulders. Create circles at the sides with those shoulders. You could, if you like to stay heated, you could be marching while you're doing these, but I really kind of like to focus on just the standing or the seated so that we can keep that nice range of motion. Now we're going to re-engage the core. You could be standing or seated, but let's take out the march and elbow circles. So we're really opening up the chest muscles. It's almost like you're doing a swim stroke. You're wading through water. You're lifting the chest as the elbows and arms pull behind you. So what I want you to feel here are the chest muscles and the blade bones behind you, the chest muscles and the lats. Really opening, feeling that movement. It's okay to wiggle fingers, make sure your neck and shoulders are nice and relaxed. This is more about the front and back body than it is about the shoulders. Nice, beautiful. So if you're still standing, go ahead and have a seat just for the purpose of warm up. And then from this position, right leg extends out, lifting the right toe. I know it's hard to see my toes, but my right toes are flexed. They're pointing to the sky. Firm the belly, hands could be on chair, and you just lean forward a little bit and see if you can feel the back of the thigh and maybe the back of the calf stretch. My belly is nicely firm. My torso is lengthening towards that long leg. Just getting a little wake up, and then firm the belly and lift up tall, and then we switch legs. My left leg extends, and then I'm gonna support my heel on the ground. I'm gonna sit really tall and then lean forward, stretch it out. Feel the hamstring, the back of the calf muscle. Nice. Holding and breathing here. We're going to do that one more time, and I'm going to show the standing version. So you could stay in the chair and do this. If you wanted to do it standing, then you would stand up, lengthen your right heel to the ground, get a little bit of a bent knee in that left leg so that you can lean forward and stretch. And I'm going to show that from the side. So I'm leaning forward and stretching. You could still be in your chair doing a second set in your chair, trying to focus on that right leg, hamstring and calf. And then I stand back up, and if I'm standing to switch sides, my left foot takes one step forward. I know it's hard to see my heel, but it's on the ground. And then firm the belly. I do a little bit of a squat position so that I can lean forward and feel the long leg stretching. You could be doing this from standing, but you could also stay seated and do it. And then coming back up. And then we're all going to take the chair for 4 stretch. Our 4 stretch is also upside down pigeon. It's just different names for it. Right ankle across the left knee. Flex the right foot, push the right knee away with leg energy. Sit really tall, because this is the important part of the activity, that tall sit. And then begin to draw the chest forward towards the legs with a nice long spine. And I hope that you feel the right hip, thigh, and glute. You'd want to be sitting towards the edge of your chair so that your leg has some free space, but of course, nicely rooted and grounded, nice and safe in the chair. Breathing through that. And then I want you to sit up tall to switch legs. Left ankle across right knee. Flex the left foot, push the left knee out with leg energy, sit really tall, get your active torso lengthened, and then you could lean forward and hopefully feel that left hip, thigh, and glute stretching a little bit. Breathing, you could have hands on the chair, you can have hands on the lap. You make sure your legs feel nicely rooted, you feel safe, but towards the edge of the chair. And then coming up to center and relaxing that out. And then we're just going to finish this off with another reach up tall, wrist circle, figure 8, wiggle those fingers. We want to stretch out the fingers. So I'm going to clasp hands webbing to webbing, belly cinched in, and then I bring the palms up to the sky. I'm trying to draw my hands back to the wall behind me so that the biceps are around the ears. And then I'm going to slowly bring my hands down to goalpost, and now I'm going to squeeze my back muscles from a goalpost position. So I'm imagining that my knuckles and elbows are trying to reach the wall that's behind me, and I have my elbows a few inches lower than my shoulders so that I'm getting the chest opening and the blade bones retracting and engaging. And then I relax it out, shake out the shoulders, and we are ready to begin with some dumbbells. So for me today, because I'm going to try and make this a fairly active workout, just know that there are a couple different, you can have whatever size dumbbells you want. We're going to start with large muscle groups, but we're going to do multiple exercises. So I'm going to take my 3-pounders. You can take whatever pounds you want. I've got 3s and 5s. You can have 1s and 3s. You could also do this with just body weight. For those that can stand, I want you to know that we're going to take this from a standing position and then a little squat hover. So from the side, it looks like this. It's not as big as a deep squat, but it's just bending the knees a little bit, putting weight into the booty, locking arms up at the sides. So if you are standing, this is your stance. If you are seated, you'd be in your chair, you'd lean forward slightly, and you'd still have the arms, the upper arms at the same place as the torso. So this is our stance. We're going to take the right arm, lengthen and row, lengthen and row, lengthen and row, and keep going. I'm not so much about the numbers. You can keep count if you want, but I'm really just going to keep going. Lengthen and row, lengthen and row, and row, lengthen and row. See how the other arm is nice and tight in the body. Lengthen and row, lengthen and row, lengthen and row, lengthen and row. I'm squeezing my back muscles. It's almost like I'm pulling a lawnmower string. The other arm stays nice and close to the body. This could be done from seated at the edge of your chair with a slight lean forward, but a nice open heart. Good, hopefully feeling a little burn there, especially if you're doing a little squat, you might be feeling the thighs and buns as well. Next time you pull that arm back, we're gonna lock the right arm in place. Now it's the left arm. It has the opportunity to lengthen and row. See how the dumbbell comes up to the chest as you squeeze that shoulder blade behind you. Belly's pressing into the spine. Spine's nice and long. It's a little bit of a mini squat. It's not a full squat because I don't want you to feel knee joints. I want you to feel thighs, booty, and core along with your blade bones, your lats. As you pull that lawnmower string, the left shoulder blade is what's squeezing to create that work phase. Keep going, you're going to your own number, but we're just really squeezing the muscles, evening out, building a little heat. You might be feeling your thighs get a little bit of heat too. So if you ever need to come out of your stance and sit in your chair, you are welcome to do that. Last time, squeeze it up, and then I want you to lift the crown to the sky, shake that out. And then from this place, draw the arms down the body to the sides. You could do this standing or seated, hips distance apart if you're standing and softening in the knees if you're standing. And we're just gonna take it to bicep curls. So I'm locking my arms towards the sides of my body, but I'm giving a good squeeze. So my elbows do have a little opportunity for movement because you really wanna feel yourself make that muscle with the biceps. Squeeze and make a muscle and use that muscle coming down. Squeeze and make a muscle and use those muscles coming down. So you have a little bit of flexibility, but I still want the belly to be your main stability, whether you're seated, nice and tall, or whether you're standing with soft knees. It doesn't have to be a squat because we're upright in this position. There's no forward lean. The crown of the head is lifting. Squeezing biceps. Some people are stronger in biceps, so some people might use their larger dumbbells for these first couple of exercises. Good. We always want to think about exhaling as we exert ourselves. So you can exhale on the lift, but really it's more important to just make sure you're not holding breath. As long as you're flowing your air, inhaling, exhaling, rather than holding breath, you will be totally safe. Really nice. Firming the belly, squeezing the biceps. Nice. A little more. And last one. You got it. Release that down. Shake that out a little bit. Loosen everything up. And then from this position, I'm going to go ahead and have a seat. And I'm going to drop to one dumbbell. And I'm purposely going to use my seat. And this is where I'm going to show, and I'll even turn the chair, that you could use just a padding or a towel. If you scooch towards the edge of your chair, and if you have a nice leg root, you could lean back slightly, opening the chest and rest your back on the chair. But I don't want the back rounded. I want you to really lift the chest towards the sky. One dumbbell in the hands, and I'm holding it against the sides of the dumbbell, squeezing up for a bench press. Squeeze up. So you're squeezing, engaging the chest, belly's nice and firm. I'm at the edge of my chair, so I'm leaning back a little bit, but I'm against that nice soft cushion of my towel, and I feel totally steady and safe in my chair. I'm squeezing my pectorals as I lengthen those arms. I let the dumbbells come back down to upper chest or mid chest level. Depends on how much lean you have in your chair. If it's not safe to lean in your chair, you could still do this exercise nice and straight. So this could be done either way. But if you have that chair and you want to lean back, then you're getting a little more chest and a little less shoulder. Squeezing, you'll be feeling those biceps and triceps too. Those are a big secondary muscle group that's being worked. Squeezing, squeezing, hopefully feeling the arms and the chest a little bit. Yes, beautiful job. Relax from that. It's important to shake out in between exercises. I'm going to take one more dumbbell exercise where we're on one dumbbell. So one dumbbell holding the ends, firm the belly. And I'm just going to take a little figure 8, make a little sideways 8, a little infinity symbol. We're just dipping the dumbbell down and up. Tummy's tight. We're working the core, but we're also getting some arm work and some shoulder work. This might get intense fairly quickly. So if you find that you need to set your dumbbell down, you could totally do this just with palms connected or flat palms or however you like. You could have loose palms, just showing options, because you're going to be doing a lot of upper body during this time. So if you find that you need to take a break from the dumbbells, it gives you a little more flexibility to even really increase the curve of that little infinity symbol, that little figure 8 that's sideways that we're doing. You're working core muscles, but you're also getting biceps, triceps, and shoulder. Nice, beautiful job. And then relax that out. Relax it out a little bit. So from here, I'm going to take the opportunity to do some legs and give the upper body a little break for a few minutes. If you wanted to add a little extra to your legs, we're going to do knee lifts. You could take that one dumbbell, it could even be your heavier dumbbell, and place it on your right knee. Press the belly into spine. I want you upright, so we're not leaning back. Crown is to the sky, belly's firm, and then the right knee lifts. Lift and lift and lift. Holding that dumbbell gently on the leg is just adding weight to your leg. So if you don't want the added weight, just do the knee lifts without the dumbbells. Firm the belly each time you lift the knee. Sit really tall. I'm at number 10, but it's okay if you're at another number. We're just lifting, lift, lift. Belly's firm. Belly's firm. I'm going to go 5 more. Lift, tummy tight, lift, lift. 2 more. Tummy tight as the knee lifts. And last one. Good. When you finish with that first leg, give yourself a moment to regroup, regain your posture. If you used a dumbbell, it can rest just above the kneecap on the opposite leg. Belly's firm. You could hold on to the side of the chair or just root through. Lift, knee lift, knee lift, knee lift. Going as high as you can with good posture. Lifting, lifting. That extra weight adds a lot. Lifting, lifting. I'm halfway there. Firm the belly and lift, lift, lift. Tummy's tight, lift. Posture's tall, lift. Lifting it strong, lifting it strong, lifting it strong, lifting it strong. And lift. Good. Release that dumbbell. Hopefully the legs have a little burn. I'm going to stand up and march it a little bit. Just shake that out. So I'm doing this without dumbbells. This is a little bit of my cardio. So if you wanted to raise your heart rate, if you wanted to elevate, you could do high knee lifts. You could also do wide leg lifts, which will elevate. You could have a chair in front of you for stability. If you have to stay in a chair, keep going while I'm talking. You could be doing these wide knee lifts in a chair, holding on to the sides of the chair. You could be doing these front knee lifts in a chair. So I want you to move in your way. For those that are standing and marching, you've got a little extra variety in what you can do. So I want you guys to keep going. If you're somebody that's seated, sometimes it gets tiresome to move the legs. So you could also do kickouts where one heel kicks out, the other heel kicks out. Just providing more options for those that want to add that interval training. For those that are standing, you could be just swinging the arms as you march. For those that are seated, you could be, doing whatever you want. You could be elbow circles. You could be swim stroke. You could be holding onto the chair. It depends on how much heart elevation you want. So keep going with that a little bit, working on that cardio in between before we get to the next strength phase. Keep going with that marching, that marching, that marching, that marching, that marching. Nice. All right, good job. All right, from here, I'm going to take dumbbells in both of the hands. Again, we're going back to that squat position. So you could be seated with a slight forward lean and the arms at the body, or you could be standing like I'm showing from the side view. And this time, I'm going to bring the knuckles and the palms to face the sky. And then from here, I'm just going to stay in my little squat position, hold that, firming the belly. And then I'm going to do a little curl up from that position, little curling up. And then I'm just going to pulse the upper half, squeezing the biceps from that little mini squat. So that's going to really focus in on the biceps, but we're still getting a little thighs worked too from that squat position. Keep going with that if you're standing up. If you're seated, you're just right here, leaning forward, little half bicep curl. So you don't have to go all the way down. We did that to warm up, and now we're just doing pulses. Pulses, seated or standing. Yes. Breathing. Firming belly into spine, noticing the crown is reaching forward and nice and long. Hopefully feeling the arms a little bit. And now let's all lengthen out the arms. If you're standing, straighten up, give yourself a break there. The next exercise is going to be from the same position, but this time it's going to work the back of the upper arms, the tricep. So if you're standing, you get in your mini squat, lean forward slightly, weights in the booty and thighs, lock those upper arms. This time your thumbs are facing forward so that when we press back, our pinkies are coming back behind us. So this time it's a tricep kickback. I'm working double arms, firming the belly, and the idea is to squeeze the dumbbells as those hands go behind the body. So if you were standing and doing this, you keep going to your own repetition level, to your fatigue level. If you were seated, you're in that forward lean, you're locking the elbows back to the back of the core and the torso, and then you're squeezing those dumbbells long behind you. So we are now focusing on the back of the upper arms instead of the front. The triceps are what's working. Whether you're doing it seated or standing, that is the exercise. Keep it working. Keep it strengthening, firm the belly as you squeeze it back. I hope you can feel those triceps. Make sure the neck and shoulders are not getting tense. Shoulders can be low. It's all about the belly firm and the back of the upper arms feeling this. Nice. Squeezing back, squeezing back. You got it. Relax it out. Shake it out, shake it out. We're going to go to a lower body exercise next to give the upper body a break again. So I'm going to set down one of my dumbbells. And that 4 stretch we did at the beginning, I'm going to take my right ankle across my left knee. So you are in the position for 4 stretch if you can be here safely. From this position, I'm going to set my dumbbell just above where my right knee is, and I'm just going to hold on to it. And then the exercise is an inner thigh exercise. So I'm going to lift my knee, but I'm keeping it anchored. See, lift and lift. So this is to work inner thigh. It's also going to hit outer thigh as the knee comes back down. Lift, 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 lift. If this feels too difficult, if this is challenging with the dumbbell, take the dumbbell off. If this is challenging in general, then you could be taking this time just to work on the 4 stretch itself without the added lift. So if you were able to get into just the 4 stretch, but it's hard for you to knee lift, then just being in that stretch with a nice firm belly and a torso nicely tall. So I'm not trying to lean forward. I've got my crown lifted. You got it. And then I'm going to release that right leg. You can feel that work when you come down, and we've got to switch legs. So I'm seated on the edge of my chair. My left ankle comes across my right knee. I let the left leg come out and I flex the left foot. If this is your edge, you could stay here, or you could do this with no weight at all. You could even help with your hand. If you want the added weight, then you put the weight right above the knee joint on the thigh, and then you're lifting that left knee just to your own range of motion. My belly's firm, my crown is lifted. I'm getting a little inner thigh, outer thigh movement. You've got your foot nicely anchored. So taking your option, feeling that lift, tummy's tight, crown's tall, sitting in that good posture position, feeling that inner and outer thigh work a little bit as you strive to lift that knee and then lower it back out. If the knee joint is talking to you, please discontinue or take off the dumbbells, maybe come into the stretch or let the legs relax. We want this to be muscle, not joint. You got it. And then I'm taking the dumbbell down. I'm letting the legs rest a little bit. So from here, I'm going to do an exercise without the dumbbells and seated. I'm at the edge of the chair, belly's nice and firm. I'm going to lengthen my right leg. Tummy's nice and tight. My left leg is my root. And I'm going to lift the toes up. So I'm just hovering. And lift. Tummy's tight. Lift. Lifting. Go at your own speed, your own number, your own range of motion. It might be just a little lift. It might be to where one leg comes flush with the other leg. Stay strong, stay tall. Feel that quadricep have to work. And then we come back to a seat, give that a little rest, re-engage the core, left leg lengthens, firm the belly, and lifting the leg. So even if you just have a half an inch or an inch of movement, that is okay. If you do not have the ability to lift the leg from here, you could take a stretch strap and use that stretch strap to help you lift the leg, or you could do a bent knee extension instead of the long leg extension. So you have some options. Lifting, 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 lifting. Nice. And then let those legs rest. We're going to take a stretch and then a little cardio. So we're going to widen the legs since we're still in that chair. Sit really tall. Make sure your legs are anchored from ankle to knee. Firm the belly. Lean forward subtly. You could have your hands on your thighs or your forearms on your thighs. If you had a little chair in front of you for stability, you could use that as well. So depending on your amount of lean, make sure you're rooted on your chair. If you had the ability to come down, you could come down and take a nice low back stretch. So it's okay to bring fingers to the floor, or maybe they just come to the ankles. Maybe they come to the shins, or maybe they prop on the thighs. You take the amount of dipping down that's safe for you, but make sure you're secure on your chair. Then firm the belly, bring the hands to the thighs, engage the core. We're going to swing our body to our upper body to the right and anchor on our right knee. Take a little stretch through the left low back and side muscles. And then we come back through center, and then we swing our body to the left. So we're getting some stretch through the right low back and the right side muscles. And come back through center. Round the back, roll it up. And we are preparing to move on. So from this place, I want to get a little more strength in. So I'm going to firm the belly. I'm going to show another chest exercise. This one, I recommend sitting on the chair. If you have that towel behind you, or just a way to lean back, you could do that. And then this time I'm going to bring the dumbbells together. So it's kind of like I'm hugging a tree. My elbows are bent. And then I'm going to open the chest and squeeze and hug that tree. Open the chest, getting a stretch, and squeeze and hug my tree. Open the chest and squeeze and hug that tree. Only do this if you feel secure and safe. Opening the chest, squeezing, hugging the tree. Opening the chest, squeezing, hugging the tree. If you don't have the ability to lean back in your chair, you could be doing this by going out and in, and out and in from a fully upright position. And in, and out, and in. Nice. Release those dumbbells, rest that out a little bit. And now I'm going to add a little energy. I'm going to stand up behind the chair to do some outer thigh. So if you have a chair that you can stand up and you can prop against, then the movement would be leaning onto one leg, finding your balance through the center, and then kicking out the other leg. So if you are able to do this, then you're going to just begin. You can go to your own number. It's important to have your balance posture, belly nice and firm. You can use that back of the chair. And as you kick out, I want you to think about the heel being what's kicking out. So we're working outer thigh, and you're going to feel some of the gluteus medius as well. Those toes want to really flex up, but I would rather them be sideways foot where the heel is pressing out. You can take your number, maybe it's 10 reps, maybe it's 12, and then I want you to switch sides. If this is difficult for you, I want you to know that you could sit in a chair, lengthen your leg, and move out and in. And that would be a way to modify. So going to that second leg, if you have not, for those that are behind the chair, kicking that opposite leg out and in, but you could sit in a chair with a long leg and step out and step in. And that would be a way to modify this outer thigh and inner thigh work. Belly's nice and firm, body's nice and tall. You're working at your pace. You might be going to 10, you might be going to 12 or 15. And when that is complete, come back and shake that out. Beautiful. From there, I'm going to grab a hold. And we're going to add a little core work. So I want you to sit tall in your chair. This could be done standing or seated. If you're in your chair, you're sitting tall, crown to sky. If you're standing, soft knees, crown to sky. Have some bend in the arms so that your dumbbell's just a few inches from the chest. And then firm the belly, and we're doing trunk rotation. So rotate to the left, come back to the center. Rotate to the right, come back to the center. Rotate to the left, come back to center. Rotate to the right, come back to center. So you might find that you want your heavier dumbbell because you're only really utilizing the one dumbbell. Or you might find that you just want this with your own body weight. You don't have to use the dumbbell. Keep going while I'm talking. If you were in a chair, your trunk rotation would still not be affected. It would look the same, only with the sitting bones being your root instead of the legs being your root. Very much squeezing the belly, making sure we're pressing belly to spine and lengthening the crown nice and tall. Beautiful. Hopefully you're feeling that core. Keep going while I'm talking. We want plenty of core in there. Good work, you guys. Trunk rotation, feeling your twists. Trunk rotation, feeling your twists. You got it. All right, very nicely done. From here, I'm going to take the opportunity to take the dumbbell down. I would recommend seated for this. I'm going to do a true leg extension where we start out with a bent knee. And then I'm going to take my right leg, squeeze as I lengthen that leg. Squeeze my top thigh as I lengthen the leg. Squeeze the top thigh as I lengthen the leg. Squeeze the top thigh. Squeeze the top thigh. It's all about the squeeze rather than the speed. Feel that top thigh muscle. Knee joint stays safe. Belly's firm. You're still sitting up tall. Squeeze top thigh. You might be going to whatever number you like. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15. Go to fatigue, firm the belly. When you start to round the back, that's a signal that your body's getting tired. You'll want to readjust or discontinue. And then when you're finished with that side, you regain your good posture, and then the left leg, the opposite leg, takes a turn. Squeezing top thigh. I like to even kind of put my hands on that quadricep to let the quadricep know that that's what's trying to squeeze. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Firm the belly. Every once in a while, check that posture. It's easy for the back to start to lean back, so then you got to get that good posture back. Going to your number, evening out. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. All right, relaxing from that, taking any breather that you need. I'm going to grab my smaller dumbbells to do a shoulder press. You could do this shoulder press seated at the edge of your chair with the crown to the sky, or you could do it standing for added energy. Press the belly into spine, start at goalpost position. Dumbbells are by the ears, and then you're just lengthening. If you're able to, I'm going to squat just so you can see it. Those dumbbells could reach up and maybe connect on top, but you could also choose, I'll show it from a chair, you're still going, you could also choose to just go to the sky and keep it shoulder width apart. So it depends on you. You could do either way as long as your belly is pressing into the spine and those dumbbells are staying back by the ears. It's so easy for those hands to creep forward until all of a sudden those dumbbells are in front of the face instead of at the side of the head. So it would be worth it to bring back your good posture before you continue in your shoulder press. Always cinch the belly in as the arms lift. Pressing belly into spine. And again. Nice, relax that out. Shoulders can be tough. Some people do them with just body weight, and that would be still a workout. So shake that out. I'm going to get a little aerobic in, a little cardio, building the heart rate one more time. So if you're in a chair, you could be marching in your chair. You could be wide marching in your chair. You could be doing alternating kickouts in your chair. You could be doing swing strokes in your chair. If you're standing, you're just moving those arms, you're moving those legs. It could be a march in place. It could be a wide step and a short step, depending on your stability and how much energy you need to build up yourself. You could be taking any variety of just little in-place movements. So you're either standing and doing this and really swing those arms. If you're standing up and you need more flowing, if you need more energy and more heart rate raise, you could even almost think about doing a little punch, like you're punching a punching bag as you march to really get those upper arms activated. Keep going. If you're seated in the chair and the legs get tired, you could be working on arm movements. You could be doing the swim stroke. You could be doing those punches. There are all kinds of varieties of arm movements just to keep your heart rate activated. So this is just a time to go crazy on your heart rate. Let your heart rate build, and that depends on you. So listen to your body. Keep going and going. Feel the belly nice and firm. Feel the body swimming. Feel the body punching. Feel the legs marching. Whatever it takes for you. Trying to burn that heart rate up. Trying to get that up, up, up a little bit. Remember your nice big inhalations and exhalations. Yeah, beautiful. All right, you guys, release that down. From here, getting ready to go back to dumbbells. And again, it's back to that mini squat. So this time I'm going to offer the opportunity for, if you want a little squat pulse, I'm actually going to hold the dumbbells up, but I'm going to be in my squat. And this is more about the legs. So I'm just going to pulse my squat where I'm sitting in the booty and thighs, sitting back into the chair and lifting the chair. And I'm using the weight for added resistance. Could you set down the dumbbells and just do the mini squat? You absolutely could. If this feels harsh to the knees, could you do sit stands? Yes, you could sit on your chair and stand up from your chair. You could sit on your chair and stand up from your chair. If getting out of the chair is difficult, you could just lean and just do a little tush lift. Maybe you don't get all the way up, but allow yourself the stability to find the squat or pulse or sit stand that works for you. If you're in the squat position, you want the weight to be back in the booty and thighs, but make sure the low back feels safe. If you're sticking the tail out too far, sometimes you'll start to feel the low back, and then you want to tuck the tail a little bit to avoid that feeling. So I hope you feel the thighs burning a little bit. That's what we're moving towards. Could be with your dumbbells, where the dumbbells would just be close to the body so that the weight's above the thighs. And then everybody either stand up or relax in your chair, get a few movements. I'm going to take a bicep curl. It could be done seated. It could be done standing. Crown is to sky, so no mini squat. Soft knees though. Feel the thigh root and lift and squeeze the biceps. Lift and squeeze the biceps. Lifting. Lifting. Making that muscle, controlling it down. Making that muscle, controlling it down. Making that muscle, controlling it down. Making that muscle. We're going to do plenty of these. The biceps are a little stronger muscle group. They can handle it. You got it. Keep it going. If your body needs a break at any time, you take it. If you need to go to seated, you could do that. Just lifting and releasing, lifting and releasing, lifting and releasing, lifting and releasing. Nice job. Shake that out a little bit. Nicely done. And then from here, I'm going to have a seat in the chair, and I'm going to take long legs. So my right leg's going to extend forward. I'm going to use my dumbbell for added resistance. You do not have to have it. And I'm going to do those step out and step ins. So the movement from seated is step out and step in. If you felt like you would rather stand behind the chair and do your outer thigh kicks again a second time, you could do that. But this time I'm going to cue it from the chair to show the other way to do it. Firm the belly. First leg is moving out and then in. And that dumbbell is just adding a little extra weight as I step out and step in. Notice my stabilizing leg is nice and tight and straight, and just keep providing a support. Your hand could be on the chair. It could be wherever it needs for good support. Feeling some inner thigh, some outer thigh. That little added weight of the dumbbell on the leg really does a lot, but this is still an intense exercise. Even without the dumbbell, you will feel these. So you are going to your number, might be 10, might be 15, whatever you like. And then when you are ready, you might be at 20. And then we're going to switch legs. So I am doing them seated. So I'm lengthening the leg. You could be behind your chair and kicking this leg out to the side and back in while you balance through your stabilizing side. We're balancing through our stable side seated here. Crown is to sky, tummy's nice and tight. You're going to feel some inner thigh, some outer thigh, some quadricep. It's really easy to feel everything on this movement, especially if you got the dumbbell on top. Feeling your inhalations and your exhalations, feeling that the core is still supporting you, feeling that you're keeping that good posture. Beautiful. Keep it going. Make sure that you work to the same level on both sides, keeping your count, doing it your way, and then relax it out when you're complete. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to take one more opportunity to do rows. So I showed it from standing the first time. Rows are a nice large body movement. So I like to do those a couple times with our chest and our back moves, our bigger muscle groups. This time I'll show it from seated. I am in my seat, but from my seat, I'm going to lean forward slightly with a lengthy spine. And I'm going to first lock my arms to my sides, and just my right arm is going to row. So my left arm kind of keeps me in position. That's part of my root. And my right arm is the rowing arm. Squeeze it back. You're squeezing that blade bone. Could you do this in your mini squat position? Of course you could. You could be doing a row from your mini squat position. That would be just fine. It's that pulling back that creates the row. As the elbow pulls back, you squeeze the shoulder blade. You're going to your number, row it back, belly's pressing into spine. And now I'm gonna keep my upper arm locked. I'm gonna switch arms. So now my right arm is locked up in that bent arm position, and my left arm lengthens and rows, lengthens and rows. You would want to keep your head in neutral. I am turning to see the screen, but you'd want to optimally keep your head in neutral the entire time. We're squeezing through the left shoulder blade muscles. You'll get a stretch in the left pectoral muscles as you row. And you could, of course, be doing it from your mini squat position if you needed added challenge. So do it your way, going to your number, belly's nice and firm. Beautiful. Hopefully you feel the movements. Yes, you got it, you got it, you got it. Nice. I'm going to go down to one dumbbell and provide one more round of our trunk rotation because I really love the core work. So I want you to first sit nice and tall. You could be doing this standing, you could be doing it seated. Tummy's tight, you have the arms bent, so the dumbbell is just a few inches in front of the chest, and then rotate to the left, squeeze back to the center, rotate to the right, squeeze back to the center. Trunk rotation twists, firming the belly. You could be doing it seated on your chair, crown is tall. Feel your obliques. Feel that it's not just the arms that move. Your head, your chest, your arms, your shoulders, your entire upper body is rotating. So it's worth it to slow this down so that everything moves in the upper body. It's easy to turn this into just an arm swing, but we want to really rotate through the torso because we're trying to get that twist and that oblique work in. Nice. All right, and then I'm going to take a break from the twist. Have a seat if you're standing. If you have that nice chair that you can sit tall in, I'm going to have you sit to the edge of the chair, firm the belly. I'm going to use the dumbbell, and then I'm going to take a lean back and a lift up. So I'm kind of combining the chest press with ab lean backs. So I lengthen my arms as I lean back for a counterbalance, and I bring my dumbbell to the chest as I lift up tall. Lean it back and lengthen arms, lift up tall. Lean it back and lengthen arms, lift up tall. Lean it back and lengthen arms, lift up tall. So it's important that you have those front belly muscles engaged, and we're trying to work pectorals, your chest muscles, along with the abdominals. Lean back and lift up. But when I'm leaning back, I still have a lengthy spine. I'm trying really hard not to round the back. Lift up, lean back, lift up, lean back, lift up, lean back, and lift up. Beautiful. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to turn towards you, release the dumbbell, and we're just going to get a few movements in. You could do this standing or seated. I'm going to do one set standing, and then I'll move to seated. So I'm going to inhale, reaching arms up, get a nice stretch. And as I exhale, I'm going to firm the belly, and I'm going to fold at the hips. Inhale, open the heart, flatten the back. Exhale to forward fold. Generous knee bend, reverse your swan dive. We're easing out everything. Bring the palms to heart center. Now I'm going to show that same thing seated. At the edge of the chair, I inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold at the hips. Let the hands release towards the shins or ankles. Inhale, open back, hands on thighs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open to the sky. Bring palms to heart center. One last time for the sequence. So now you've seen that you can do it seated or standing. Inhale to tall mountain, reaching head to toe. And then exhale, fold at the hips. So if you're standing, you'll get a little hamstring stretch here. Inhale, flatten back, open the heart. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, reach it to the sky and bring palms to heart center. Relax that out from this place. I'm now going to take it into a little bit of a twist stretch from your seat. So on purpose, seated at the edge of the chair. Inhale, lift, firming belly to spine. As you exhale, trunk rotate to your right. So bring the arms down and you're opening into a twist. Your right hand might be back on the back of the chair or the arm of the chair. Your left hand could be on the outside of the right knee. Let the shoulders relax low. It's the heart that's opening, bringing out the torso. And then safely come back to center. We're going to even that out. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Belly firm. Exhale, rotate to your left. Your left arm can come back onto the chair or the arm of the chair or the side of the chair. Right hand could be on the outside of the left knee. You're using that trunk rotation. Nicely done. Breathing. And then coming back to center. And then from here, I'm going to take right knee across the left knee. Sit nicely tall first and then just round forward. You can slide the arms down. It's a nice lengthening from the back. You might feel a little stretch through the right gluteus medius and hip. And then lift up tall. If you're able to slide to force stretch from here, then you can bring the ankle across the knee, flex the foot, press the knee out, and then come into force stretch. And then lift up tall. And then we bring the foot back down and we're switching legs. Left ankle, cross-legged position first. Left knee on top of right knee. Sit up tall first. And then let yourself fold over the lap. You can release the hands down the legs. Feeling a little low back stretch, maybe a little left hip and glute. Only go to what's comfortable for you. Firm the belly, sit up tall. Then we slide the ankle on top of the knee, and we're all of a sudden in force stretch with that left foot flex, the knee pressing out, lift up tall. You could stay here. This might be your stretch. You might be at your edge already. Some people would lean forward if they need more stretch. Beautiful. Tummy tight, lift it up. Finish off with some elbow circles, maybe a swim stroke, wading through a lazy river, relaxing the body, and then some shoulders. And now I want you to let the arms melt down the sides and just a neck stretch. Let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder as if you've fallen asleep. Shoulder blades are level and low. And now I want you very gently to let the chin release towards the chest. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. And now let the left ear fall towards the left shoulder as if you've fallen asleep. Face the soft, shoulder blades level and low. And then let the chin come down towards the chest. It could be subtle. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Lift the chin to neutral. Shake the body out a little bit. Take any last movements that you need. You could circle those ankles. It's a great idea after some of the movement that we did. You could do that from seated or standing. And that concludes our workout today. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me. Thanks, Michelle, for this opportunity for a strength class today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's great. It was incredible. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
everybody that's on, we're having a social time tomorrow night at 7:15 Central Time. I'll send out the link and the reminder, but it's a strictly social time from 7:15 to 8:15. Thank you again, Kelly. For everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great class.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.